You are listening to the Goodnet Effect, Echoes of Inspiration, a podcast by Goodnet, a part of the Arison Group.
What would you say if I told you that I knew about a magic power that would radically transform the way that you view yourself and the world and learn to see things and frame things in a more positive way? Isn't it time that you learned to speak to yourself and about yourself in a kind, nurturing, loving way instead of being your own worst critic and your own worst enemy? Welcome to the Goodnet Effect, Echoes of Inspiration. We're so excited to have you here with us. Today, we're going to go take a deep dive into the art of positive storytelling or positive reframing. We'll learn some practical tools on how to implement this into your life so that as soon as the podcast is over, you can push pause and you can immediately start learning to use some of these things in a practical way. And finally, we'll end with a short guided meditation to help this sit in a more subconscious and safe place inside of yourselves. But I promised you magic, and so magic you'll get. What if there was a magic phrase or a magic concept that you could use to pick yourself up when you're feeling down? And instead of being drawn into the negativity, you could be drawn towards the positivity. So that magic comes from within yourself and from inside of yourself. So we all know the phrase abracadabra. It's magic. It's magic at its most basic. Abracadabra is actually rooted in an ancient Aramaic phrase. And the words mean abra means I will create, and dabra means as I speak. So abracadabra, when you're using your magic wand and wanting to do magic in the world, basically you're saying, I will create as I speak. My words, what I say, have a power to create a reality. And the first place that those words have that power, the most fundamental place that those words have power is within yourself. And how you speak to yourself, that inner voice inside your head, it can either be your worst critic, or if you learn to use the magic, and if you learn to use abracadabra, and you can even use it as a little tiny device if you feel yourself slipping towards the negativity, just say abracadabra. Abracadabra, I am going to magic myself. I am going to control my words. I'm going to control my inner voice. And I'm going to hear that inner critic before I let it take control over me. And so abracadabra, we have the power. Our words create our reality. Through my words, I build a reality. It's almost like putting a filter. We all use our cell phones to take pictures, and we all want those pictures to look as good as possible. After the picture is taken, I can put whatever filter I want over that photograph. I can make it look nostalgic. I can make it look optimistic. I can make it look like morning. I can make it look a little bit black and white. We can put a filter on our thoughts and on our words. And when we're able to, first of all, even stop before we allow the negativity to take over. And if we have the awareness that we have that power, that's already way ahead of the game. That's already using the magic and tapping into the magic. You got to speak about yourself positively. You have to realize that you are the author of your story, and you can write it any which way you want. You decide on the tone. And the tone, if you make the choice to pick up that positive pen, you can write a really beautiful life story about about yourself and how you present yourself to others in the world. So I'll tell you a story because we're talking about positive storytelling. I'll tell you a story. My daughter, when she was in high school, was selected to be part of a leadership program, and she was part of a leadership program, and she traveled to South Africa on a youth delegation. And we planned and prepared for this trip, and she was all ready, and she knew everything, and everything was packed. And the day of the trip, for some reason, one of the messages got missed, and we were late for the flight. Both of us were late for the flight. I as the mother, she as the daughter. Huge moment of overwhelm, panic, anxiety, nervousness, and went quickly into my room to get ready, to get dressed, and my daughter starts pounding on the door, banging on the door. Mom, mom, mom. And I said, honey, I can't answer the door. I need to get dressed because we need to go to the airport so we don't miss your flight. She said, no, mom, this is really, really important. I need to tell you something. I said, not now. She said, please, 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 knocking on the door. Mom, I need to tell you something. So I open the door. I'm half dressed, take my deep, calming mom breath, and I say, okay, what is it, honey? What do you need to tell me? And she said the following. She said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. I said, whoa, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Wow. And with that short phrase, she was able to calm me down. I was able to calm her down. We were both able to function. Obviously, we made the flight. I have since drawn on that phrase in many different places and times in my life, and that's not the only phrase. I don't know if you've ever heard the idea of positive affirmations. They sound very big, and really they're very simple. It's using a phrase like this, or you can simplify it and water it down. You can make it any phrase that resonates with you. I am a capable, calm, wonderful, positive human being. I am worthy of love. Anything that is in your mind, that inner critic voice, once you've learned to identify it, and believe me, our inner critic is really, really adept and capable at doing their job, and we know our own weaknesses better than anybody else. But once you hear and have identified that inner critic and hear the negativity that they're throwing at you, when you flip it around and you flip it into a positive aspiration, you're silencing that critic. And so you have that power. You have that ability. It's as simple as using your magic wand and abracadabraing the negativity into positivity. When you have the ability, when you're able to do that, you can transcend almost any situation, and you can find yourself in the direction, and it certainly is not something that's going to happen in a minute, but once you've taken this on and this becomes your way of living, you can go in the direction of valuing yourself, seeing what your self-worth is, and ultimately self-love, because everything stems from that. I'd like to give you some very, very practical tools so that these things can be implemented into your life almost immediately. And so in order to learn how to speak positively about and to yourself, one of the most important tools to use is mindfulness. Mindfulness is just the simple act of learning how to be in the moment, being mindful of the moment that I'm in. Wherever I am, I'm paying attention to the quality of the air, to the light, to the sky, to the flowers, to the color of the shirts of the people that are around me. And what does this do for me? This silences all of the voices in my mind that might be pulling me in a negative way. And so it silences the anxieties and fears about what might potentially happen in the future. And it silences the regrets and the sadness of what might have happened in the past. And it brings me right to this present moment. And mindfulness and being in the present moment are your best friends in terms of learning how to tell a positive story. So first tool is mindfulness. After you've mastered mindfulness, and we actually have on our site a whole array of articles on mindfulness. You can get online onto Goodnet.org. Just put in a quick search on mindfulness. We can put some links into our bio for you. And we have mindfulness in almost all settings. We have guided meditations to help you sleep. We have mindfulness while you're at work, mindfulness for parents, tips, practical tips, how to start if it feels strange for you. So you go get onto Goodnet and use some of those amazing resources that we have there for you. But after the mindfulness, the next step would be to learn how to be a neutral observer in your own life. And if you've ever done any journaling, absolute straight observation, as if you're a reporter and someone's giving you the beat, is you writing about covering your own life, and you're not making any judgments on anything that you do. And this is really, really challenging to master, but literally just observing the same way that we were mindful in the moment, we're mindful about our own selves. So it's mindful, neutral observation and journaling, being a reporter about your own life. And after you've done that for a while and you go through what you've recorded, you start to identify the challenges. You start to be able to identify the difficult things that you have to overcome, the behavior patterns that perhaps are holding you back, that you'd like to change. But you're able to do it with a lot more empathy and a lot more kindness, because the judging is gone, because the critic has been silenced, because the critic has no place in mindfulness. The critic can't live in the present moment. He's quiet, he, she, not powerful anymore. So you've silenced that critic. And when you can go through your journaling, your neutral journaling and you start to see patterns and you start to identify areas that might be things that you want to change about yourself, then you can learn to focus on your strengths, to focus on what there is, and start slowly working towards change. Now, I want to mention change just for a minute, and that is, if anybody's tried to make a change in any area of their lives, whether it's speaking positively or taking on a new habit, negativity and inner critic are the first things that are going to derail that attempt at change. The only way that you can move forward and change is if you believe that you're going to succeed in change, if you believe that you even have a chance to change. So if you've already shot yourself in the foot before you head out the door, before you're at the starting line, there's no chance. So the only way that I have, if I'm gentle with myself, if I'm empathetic with myself, if I'm compassionate with myself, if I'm loving to myself, the way that I am with my friends, the way that I am with my children, if I start to learn how to be that way with myself, then change becomes not so scary and change becomes possible. And so one of the final tools in terms of practical tools for learning how to be a positive storyteller is to use the affirmations that we mentioned earlier. So Goodnet has collected a lot of affirmations. We have affirmations for adults, for teens, different times when affirmations can be used. So again, get on our site and put in a search for affirmations. We have affirmations that we actually created for children that have become super popular. We created them during the COVID period when people were unfortunately not able to interact as much, and the isolation and the loneliness was really, really, really difficult and, really, really becoming problematic, especially for children. So we created these affirmation pages, which basically take just a positive statement. I am good enough as I am. I can do something happy today. Simple things that children can relate to. And these are affirmation pages, are coloring pages, and you can download them if you'd like to do for yourself, your inner child, or for any child that you know in your life. The act of coloring actually really does calm as well. So those are some tools. They're practical, they're easy to implement. And my final one, and it's just a gift from me to you, is to take one last tool, and that is humor. Not to take ourselves so seriously, to learn to take ourselves lightly is the kindest thing that you can really do for yourself in terms of positivity. The heaviness and the being pulled down into what we see as our destiny to be stuck, to be fated to be the way that we are, when really we have the ability to switch the script, flip that switch, and learn how to use words that can uplift, inspire, and help us grow. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that some of this has resonated with you and that these will be things that you'll be able to implement slowly and in a positive way into your own lives. Please join us on Goodnet.org to read more positive content. Visit us on our social media channels, on our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I'd like to end with a short guided meditation that we can do together, so that these concepts will sit with us in a more safe and fundamental way. Thank you. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in, filling your lungs with fresh air, and exhaling slowly, releasing any tension or stress from your body. With each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into a state of relaxation and calm. Imagine you are the author of a beautiful book, the story of your life. Visualize this book in your hands, with a blank page waiting to be filled with your experiences, thoughts, and emotions. Imagine yourself in a serene, peaceful setting, surrounded by a soft, warm light. This light is gentle and comforting, filling every part of your being with love, compassion, and hope. As you bask in this radiant light, feel a sense of warmth and acceptance wash over you. Let go. let go of any tension, self-doubt, or negativity that may be weighing on your heart or mind. Allow yourself to be fully present in this moment of self-love. Visualize this light as the positive energy that represents the transformative powers of kindness, positivity, and hope. With each breath, allow this light to expand and envelop you, filling you with a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. Gently shift your perspective to find something positive or hopeful about yourself. Focus on the strengths you've developed or the resilience you've shown in overcoming challenges. See yourself as a positive storyteller. See your words and thoughts as magnets, drawing on opportunities for love and abundance. I am the author of my own story, and I write it with kindness and optimism. Imagine the light spreading outwards, touching every aspect of your life story. See it illuminating the challenges you've faced, the setbacks you've encountered, and the moments of self-doubt or criticism. With each touch of the light, these experiences begin to soften and transform into opportunities for growth, resilience, and wisdom. Feel the love and compassion radiating from within you as you reframe your story with positivity and hope. Now, bring your attention back to the present moment. Take a moment to offer yourself words of kindness and encouragement. Repeat the affirmation, I am the author of my own story, and I write it with kindness and optimism. Take a few more deep breaths, allowing this sense of lightness and positivity to linger within you. I am the author of my own story, and I write it with kindness and optimism. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and carry this sense of positivity with you as you go about your day, knowing that you are the author of your own story, and you have the power to infuse it with love, hope, and positivity.
You are listening to the Goodnet Effect, Echoes of Inspiration, a podcast by Goodnet, a part of the Arison Group.